Jose, you got to be around. Day what in quarantine? I have no topics to talk about. I'll just read through these comments. Henny Pink. I'm trying not to go crazy, Henny, so that's why. Oh, Henny, this is just me in my office. Do you want to go live, Henny? Henny Pink. Alaikum salam to Adzakakam. Best tips to figure out deficiency in diet. Deficiency in what? Vitamins, minerals? Eat muffins pre-workout. Let's see, here's Handy Pink. Are you stocked up on Fiberlize? No, but I'm stocked up on toilet paper. How's that? Dave putting his plug in for Fiberlize. He sells enough as it is. It's like the number one selling fiber product on earth. We're waiting for Handy Pink to come on. Then all the Arabs will come. Leucine's better than HMB, I think. I don't know, bro. You don't have to walk. You can't walk. You can't work out. What can you do, really, right? Build size during quarantine. You can't. I mean, I hate to be the bringer of bad news. Bob Gruskin's training philosophy to failure. He liked negatives too, but I think he overdid them. Hanny Pink. Oh, your hair's probably not ready, Hanny. Why you stopped working out? I got cancer. My immune system was screwed. And then I just lost my passion for it. But I didn't lose it for contest prep. Phil Heath coming to 220 Mr. Olympia. I don't know, but I will bet Sean Roden beats him again. If they let Sean in. But who knows? Can you build muscle doing body weight exercises? No, because it's called progressive resistance. If you've been doing like 300-pound bench press and you go down to what? Push-ups. There's not enough stimulus there to keep your body holding on to muscle. Yes, I think a break from training can do you good. Like this. Absolutely. You know, a full month. I guess if we get in after a month, then no. Top 3 most important pre-contest drugs: test, Arimidex, clenbuterol. Has to be it. That's right off. No one's ever asked me that, but right off my gut. Do you own any real estate in Massachusetts? No. Love the team you and Luke have together. Luke is going to do something special coming up, meaning contest-wise, meaning success-wise, without a doubt. The best coach. What do you mean by best? Dosages and dieting. You'll never get dosages out of me, dude. When are you going to get Bob Paris on? I haven't spoken to him for years. I'd have to speak to him. I'd love to speak with him. Estrogen block at best time does not matter one bit. Why does Milos love giant sets? Because he loves carbs, and you need to do giant sets to deplete the muscle glycogen so that carbs won't make you fat. Tell him I said that. I bet he'll say, you're right. Saludos de Mexico. I haven't been to Mexico in years. I love Mexico. I love everywhere now because I'm stuck in the house. Brandon Curry versus Sean Roden would be a great showdown. I think Brendan's phenomenal. My book's name, Championship Bodybuilding, and the other book is Everything You Need to Know About Fat Loss. B12, a lot of people are deficient in it, yes. Who are your own early bodybuilding influences? Bob Gruskin, Bob Gruskin, Bob Gruskin. Experienced pro competitor needing to bring up arms only. Can deep, correctly done SEO help bring up muscle tissue? It won't bring up muscle tissue, just pump oil into the muscle, which I guess if you know how to do it, it may, you know, might look good. Fasting cardio, I still like intervals, but some people's legs fall apart on intervals. But I still like intervals. 3 minutes hard, 6 to 10 minutes easy. Continue that until like an hour is up or 40 minutes is up. Yeah, it's out of stock, Amazon, of course, because they're not accepting. My books are out of stock on Amazon, I bet, because they're trying to ship like soaps, shampoos, Clorox, essentials that people need. I don't have many clients at all right now. Someone asked, how many clients do you have right now? Not many. 10? Number one genetically gifted bodybuilder you've ever worked with? I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I mean, because I never worked with like a Wheeler or a Flex Lewis, you know? Could the 2018 Rodin beat the Best J? I think the Best J 2001 is hard to beat by anyone. 2002, 2003 J, I don't think by any means 2009 was his best. I mean, I think he was in tremendous condition, but he wasn't, quote, big. Ever been to Belfast, Maine? Yep. What's your office out there? You have an office out there. I've driven through it. I've done the Maine coastal trip with my wife and kids. Can I take Proviron on a bridge? You don't need it. Biggest potential pro in your opinion? I think the biggest potential might be Hassan Mustafa in terms of everything put together at the end of the day, totally and perfectly peeled. He hurts a lot of people's feelings. Do you think the Olympia is canceled? Definitely 2020. I think it's 50-50. Do you rate SARMs? I know nothing about SARMs. I've never told anyone to use SARMs, and no one I know. And you can go on my Instagram. There's tons of bodybuilders who have ever used SARMs. Fastest way to cut fat, is cardio only the best? No, fastest way to cut fat is lower your carbs. Tried and true. How did you figure out how to manipulate diet and other stuff regarding contest prep and bodybuilding in general? I copied a lot of it from Bob Gruskin, but I think that at some point my understanding of metabolism, you can, well, when they ever get it back, you can read that stuff and everything you need to know about fat loss. My understanding of metabolism was way outside the box thinking for the mid-90s. And that paved the way for tweaking a lot of the stuff that you read about in championship bodybuilding and everything you need to know about fat loss. Yeah, my hair has good days and bad days. Depends if I comb it or not. Why don't Brandale go to 300? Because most bodybuilders who go to 300 never become better bodybuilders. Write that down. Most bodybuilders who go to 300 never made it in bodybuilding. You're welcome for me giving you your time. Thank you for coming and taking up my time because I'm pretty bored. Hey Chris, huge fan. Any advice for pushing calories off season? Don't eat too clean. Don't eat too clean. Jay Cutler versus Ron Partlow. Jay's smarter, Ron is funnier. Jay's richer, Ron is poorer. Jay's bigger, Ron is smaller. They both have equal number of second place. Val. Val, how crazy was Jay like early 2000s in terms of roundness? He just sent me. You see that side tricep he posted on his Instagram? It looks 100% photoshopped. Five best incoming athletes. Great question. Patrick Moore, Sergio Oliva, Luke Sandow, Rafael Brandao, and Reagan Grimes. That's five. Four of the five I coach. Jay Cutler versus Ron Partlow eating sushi. Jay, but Ron would get high as a kite, try to keep up with him. Try to get that weed munchies. Brazilian athletes, I think they're great. I help a bunch of Brazilians. Correa, Rafael, William Martins, Alan Brandanino, whatever. A bunch of people I help from Brazil. Does GH increase lean muscle tissue? It's a great question. What a good question. Yes, obviously. Yes. Yeah. Makes you big, but it doesn't necessarily give you long-term a better bodybuilding body. Redwood 726. I have no choice, bro. I'm home. It's pouring out. Like, I heard an old story of you picking a fight in high school in history class with Mr. Cross. Really? About what? Mr. Cross used to, I don't think he was natural, Mr. Cross. I used to train with him in the junior high gym. Thank you. Best of health to you, sir. Thank you very much. Troy, which Troy? Troy Alves? No, not top five. Best protein to build muscle? Red meat. What's it mean to be genetically gifted? If you were, you would know. It means you touch weights and you grow. Fact. Your favorite breakfast for Balkan bagels and eggs? Best era in bodybuilding, the J. Coleman era, I think around that or just a little bit before. Why? Because nothing against classic. There wasn't classic, so or men's physique, nothing against men's physique. It is simply that all your attention was on that show. So now, I mean, God, how much attention span can you have? You know, there's just so many divisions and this and that. So that's one of the reasons it was the best era. The second reason is, you know, some of these classic guys who are extremely good, they don't have the mass, obviously, to compete in the Mr. Olympia, but they have the bodies to. That's for darn sure. So they may be people who, if they didn't have the option of classic, could continue, you know, training and growing down the road and make it to the Olympia and look really good. Great question. Great. You prefer to spend calories with aerobic exercise or cut down? Cut down. Absolutely. Eat less, do less cardio. Is Hanny better than you? You ask. You tell me. I'm not competitive. I'm just focused on what I do. But you can tell me. Do you take customers that aren't pro? Yes. Troy Alves have pretty damn good genetics. If if you knew what he did not use to look like that, what he did not use, you would laugh. What do you think Brazil needs to do to achieve American bodybuilding? Well, what do you mean? Eduardo Correa has been like at the top end of 212 for 10 years. No, I don't know anyone in Algeria. Cookie Cutter Cutler. I can't even say that 10 times fast. Cookie Cutter Cutler. Thank you. Your article 15 years ago helped me lose weight. Did you keep it off? Thank you, Jarrell 1010. Glucose disposal agents, yeah, they're cheap. Vanadol, chromium, glutamine, they help carbs make their way to the muscle. But which is why Milos loves giant sets, ties it into another question. What makes carbs make their way into the muscle is training, hard training to failure, or actually not to failure, but working a little bit on the volume side. No, I'm not working on a new book. I can't even get mine sold in Amazon because they're sold out. And I don't know anything new. Yes, I accept non-pro clients, but there's no shows going on. How did Bob learn about fat loss? Gosh, how did Bob Gruskin learn about fat loss? I just think, I don't know. I mean, he's a chemistry teacher, so there's some physiology there, right? Trial and error. But, some people are born to play the piano. They know how, Stevie Wonder, I don't think, took any piano lessons. And he learned how to play the piano. So I think Bob is the same way when it comes to being a bodybuilding guru. How do you separate bodybuilding and family? You don't. I mean, you do, obviously, but everything needs attention. Business needs attention, bodybuilding needs attention, your wife needs attention, your kids need attention. It's a struggle, though, for anyone. It's just like if you ask, CEOs of companies. If you ask CEOs of companies, most, when they get older, say, "Oh, I wish I had spent more time with my kids." Yes, overweight is being, a problem causes lower back pain. Walks after every meal, probably keep your metabolism pretty high. Best way to increase one's metabolism, train close to failure with a little bit more volume. That's the best way. Low intensity aerobic post-workout, because you already got your heart rate up during training. Would you ever consider having a debate with Coach Greg Doucette on Iron Debate? I'd probably need uppers. I don't like to debate people a lot because a lot of times people have their own formed opinions, and that's fine, and myself included. And also a lot of times people, with information, they have in their mind what they think the answer is. And even in a debate or gaining new information, they filter that information to fit perfectly with what they think is right. But in terms of entertainment, it might be fun. Yeah, Mr. Cross History class, have a funny story. Will Sean return? Sean's ready to return. He's ready to return. Genetic, the hair's genetic. Any benefit in cheat days? They taste great. Yeah, cheat days are, they help you stay motivated to stay on the diet when it comes time to diet, for a prolonged period. That's usually why I use them. Chris, your old articles are still gold. Well, Muscle Fitness is still, are they still publishing? I don't know. Yes, I'll be fasting during Ramadan. I think they're still being published somewhere online. They don't have the rights to it, of course. What's the most common meal that you set on clients' plans? Usually what they like. You know, chicken and rice, chicken, potato. Can you stop? Can you write this properly? Or, hello, sir. How you solve Jay's flu back problem? Jay's flu, F-L-U, back problem. I have no idea. You keep writing that sentence to me, and I don't even know what that means. Jay or Reagan? Is that your question? What do I think of the new Egyptian monster, Hassan Mustafa? Mashallah, that's what I said. He looks good. He's very good. Nice guy. How do you separate family and bodybuilding? I spend time with both. Can Phil Heath beat the bubble gut? No. You know, once your midsection, Phil, who's one of the greatest bodybuilders, you know, once your midsection gets wider, once you reach 40 for some guys, you know, your waist just gets naturally wider, which takes away from your V-taper. And then once you get some distension, it just, other than you faking it and holding it in, it doesn't go away. Well, Steve, I don't think J09 was his best, so no use to comparing it to Dorian 93. I think he and I agree with that. But he looked tremendous that year. Nuts. Nuts. People don't understand. Because we would just laugh when we'd see him, right, Val? When we'd see Jay, you know, around 01, 02, 03. I mean, the level of density and roundness and size. Tricep caps, delt width, delt caps, quads, hamstrings, Christmas trees. Titanium Mike McDonald has 8 second places. No, me and Dave never discuss diet supplements. Funny, huh? 83 versus 01 Cutler. Oh my goodness. There's like a 100-pound weight difference. Any good real estate advice in this recession? Man. Deals are coming. Deals are coming. You must be patient. Who smokes the most weed in pro bodybuilding? I don't know. Chris Cormier, maybe. Was Morgan overlooked at the Arnold Classic? I mean, he was peeled out of his mind, you know. I mean, it was a good show for him, you know. It just, was he overlooked? I mean, he could have placed higher, I guess. You know, it's just hard to say, really. I mean, I think other people were overlooked as well. I think Max Charles might have been overlooked. Um, it depends. Sergio's waist to hips throws his structure off a little. Do you agree? Sergio's waist, hips. No, it's not that. Nope, not the waist and hips. I have Senthil as an Indian athlete. Yeah, he looks tremendous. Who's the biggest stone of bodybuilder you've ever met? They're around, believe me. Endomorph, got to keep your carbs low all the time. I'm not that passionate about boxing, but I like it. I'd watch, any top fight. No, endos can't eat like Jay 12 times a day. No, Patrick Moore is not going to be in Classic. Arnold. Somatotype or muscle fiber type for being a pro? That question went over my head. Patrick Bernard's a great guy. Patrick Bernard is a great guy. Best muscle separation you've seen on a bodybuilder in person? Jay or Roden or Kamal in terms of clean separation at their all-time best? No, I don't think someone 49 years old can grow a lot of muscle and get huge. Not if they're just starting out. Tell us about Phil Heath. What, 6-time Mr. Olympia, 7-time? What else is there to say? His resume says it all. Yeah, I like real food over liquid foods. I'm not a big protein powder guy. Advice for shoulder training? Oh, shoulder injury. Samir, best look, 82, 83. My God, some stupid questions. Well, we're just trying to beat time, bro. Any truth to the housing market crush? JP Morgan today is requiring 20% down on a 30-year mortgage, which is crazy, right? Hi, Fernando. Target for fluid consumption, I think a gallon a day is more than enough. You locked in, Fernando, like everyone else? I see a president not really keen on social distancing, and I think he's in coronavirus denial. No 49-year-old men cannot get huge like Jay Cutler used to be. Impossible. It's impossible for most 29-year-old men. No, I have not spoke to Bob. I heard he's in a nursing home. Flex will do good in the open class for sure. Do I need giant sets for a stubborn chest? They could help, but you got to think outside the box on improving weak body parts if chest is your weakest. Best piece of advice for starting bodybuilding? Be patient. What do you think about a day no training? Keeping your carbs like to zero on your off day. Your carbs should always be low on your off day, right? Because you're expending less, so that's important. Most important meal, pre-workout or post? Pre. No, I wouldn't. I don't want my kids bodybuilding, unless they want to, but do I want them competing at the Olympia level? No. You and Dave should talk about investments on Muscle Radio show, since there is, I talked about investments all day long with other people. Fasted or fed cardio for fat loss, and why? Fasted because your blood sugar levels are low, and when they're low, your body burns fat easier. I agree.